Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome to Simple Politics. So today I'm going to be very quick. I don't think this episode is going to take long, but I did want to sort of share my perspective regarding the student who has passed away at the Walter Sisulu University at the Eastern Cape. And the 3 students that are injured during a protest. So I've been listening to different interviews, trying to gather what happened. And obviously there's different people that are speaking and giving perspective on this situation. And every single person who's speaking, of course, they are trying to cover their back. As we know, yesterday the minister released a statement saying the person who has passed away is not a student, because what they were trying to do, they were trying to manage the situation. But my question was, there were so many questions. First of all, if it's not a student, right? What was this person doing inside the premises of the university? Now it brings a question to the security. Okay, fine. Then is there security in this university? What's happening? And also, someone just literally passed and you are saying they are not a student. You have not gathered any information whatsoever. Okay? So, since the morning, interviews have been done and more information is coming into light right now. Ukuti, this is actually a student, but before I get into this information of this being a student or not being a student, which I don't think is actually that relevant, conclusion is that someone died. I think that's the most important thing that we're missing here. Someone died, shot by the res manager. So I've got so many questions. Uguti, a res manager, why did he have a gun? Is that gun registered? Because I heard some people saying it's a personal gun. Is that gun registered? How can you be a protector with a gun? Also, when you've got a gun and people are protesting, why? Okay, it's also dangerous. I was going to say, why don't you shoot up? But that's also actually very dangerous because the bullets can fall down and come right at you and kill you. But I'm just like, hey, so there's a lot at play. But before I unpack, because also now the res manager saying, his wife was injured. They touched his car, the students, and the students are covering their faces. Now the question is, why are these students covering their faces? Are they covering their faces because they want to do all these things? Or are they covering their faces because the students are scared of their lives? And they know that if during this protest they trend, they will get in trouble. Oh, yeah, man. There's another now factor coming into play, that the reason the students were campaigning, were protesting, it's because they were told that they're not allowed to bring girls into their dorms to sleep over. That's not allowed. So now, and also because it's closer to exams or something. So now the students got angry because they were told that they're not allowed to bring their partners, whether girls or boys. They're not allowed to bring their partners to sleep over. That's why they're protesting. That's what they're saying. So I mean, there's a lot of pieces that I want us to look into. There's just a lot of pieces. But firstly, let us go to the minister who released a statement yesterday. And I do think that was a premature statement. You can never ever, when something, as much as you want to protect, I understand where she's coming from. She wants to protect maybe the university, the public image, but you can never ever release a statement that prematurely. You can never. And also, your job as a minister as well is to also protect the students. So you can't say and do something that is putting the student at the wrong light when it's not even true. Okay, now let's get right into the statement. As I said, there's a lot of things that I want to unpack. There's a lot of information that I was listening to this morning, and there's a lot of pieces. And so I just want us to simplify that a little bit, okay? Let's get into the statement. The statement released yesterday on the 15th says that it says statement by Minister of Higher Education and Training, Dr. Nobuhle Nkabane, on the incident at the Walter Sisulu University. The Minister of Higher Education and Training, Dr. Nobuhle Nkabane, is deeply concerned by the unrest that took place at Walter Sisulu University at Mthatha campus on the morning of the 15th, which was yesterday, where several individuals were injured and a person who is not a registered student registered student at the or university staff member tragically lost their lives during a violent incident. The minister conveys her sincere condolences to the family of the deceased and wishes a full and speedy recovery to those who sustained injuries. She also extends support to the staff member and his family who were affected by the attack. The minister strongly condemns forms of violence and intimidation on university campuses and reiterates that students, staff, and all members of academic community must be protected. Institutions of higher learning must remain safe and spaces that nurture learning, dialogue, and development. In response to the incidents, Minister Nkabinde has urgently engaged with the Vice Chancellor of Walter Sisulu University, Professor Rushiela Nolundi Songa, to obtain a full briefing and offer the department support during their difficult time. The minister has also requested that the university furnish her with a comprehensive report on the incident as a matter of urgency without delay, which is fine. Now, wanting a full report, releasing a statement first and then wanting a full report, that does not make sense. The first thing that you should have done is to get a full report. Get the information as urgently as possible and then release a statement. What if this report that you are getting is against each and everything that you've just said in this letter? That this is not a student, it's just a personnel at the university, it's not even a staff member. Haibo. Every student, when I was a student, every student who entered the university entered with a student card. Even at the res, you entered with a student card at the res, unless things changed. The minister will visit Walter Sisulu University. Okay, fine. That part is not important. But I think definitely this statement is so premature. It is so premature and reckless, honestly. Okay, now this morning I'm watching another interview that says that the person who has passed is a student and was a student at the Walter Sisulu University. I think the name they're saying it's Sisonke. And what happened is that when the incident happened, and I don't know, the university heard that they had passed, they deregistered the student. That's even worse. If they really deregistered a student to push a narrative, a student that has lost their lives, now that must not go unpunished. That is the highest level of cruelty. Deregistering a student who has lost their lives so that you can protect the image of the university and protect the image of the management. Because first of all, Nyanke, what was the res manager doing with the gun, with the firearm? What was he doing with the gun? So, okay, fine. It is alleged that someone went to the hospital, they took the student card. But now more proof is coming into life. I want to look for this thing. Anyway, now the statement of Usisonga Mbolekwa paid 5,000 in March 2025. So if this was not a student, how is that possible? There's a student number. There's all the details of him being a student, but you said he's not a student. Yo. So there's another statement by the president of WUSU Convocation, which I want to read. It was also released yesterday. It says that Wusu Convocation has learned with great shock and sadness that the fatal violent shooting at the Wusu Mtata campus, the loss of a life on campus resulting from shooting, is a terrible and heartbreaking loss. We send our heartfelt condolences to the family and the deceased and pray for a speedy recovery of those students currently fighting for their lives in the hospital. Not having all the facts yet, Convocation will be in touch with university stakeholders and university management and student leadership to learn the further details on the matter before making any further comments on the matter. Meanwhile, as a matter of principle, we strongly believe that our alma mater should remain a space of safety for teaching and learning and for preservation of students' rights, even as a space where families can continue to have confidence in sending their children without them suffering any harm on campus. To this end, we believe there should be a swift investigation of their accountability for what has happened. At least the student convocation is not saying this is not a student, because you don't know. So this is such a sad incident, guys. And now it's alleged that the students attacked the res manager's wife, and they also touched his car. So I've got so many questions. Also, I've got questions about why were the police not called, okay? And during a protest, the police are called. And even back in the past, when we used to protest, it was always condemned that the police come into a protest carrying real guns. It was always encouraged that police must carry rubber bullets. So, I mean, if the res manager saw that his wife was being attacked and touched, were the police called? Yeah, but is there a proof that really these students attacked the wife and touched the car? But also, with all that being said, does it also explain him having a gun, a res manager? I think more than anything, that's what I don't understand. And I stand to be corrected, guys. I really stand to be corrected. You are welcome to correct me and educate me if there's anything that you think I'm understanding wrong. But it doesn't make sense. And it seems like the res manager is saying he felt some form of intimidation because the students were wearing the balaclava. They were covering their faces. The students were covering their faces. So obviously he felt some form of intimidation. But more than anything, the minister must be held accountable for saying that is not a student when it could be a student. She must be held accountable for that statement. I don't think anyone should let it go. The res manager should be held accountable for carrying a gun or having a gun in the premises. You know. So I don't know, guys. I don't know. The story is still unfolding, but I just wanted to share for those that obviously are not following the news. It's such a tragic thing, because when you send kids to university, you send them to learn and to you know, you hope that they'll be safe. So let me know what you guys think. Because as I said, maybe I could be wrong, but I think definitely the minister must not get away with this one at all. And she was not there, so you can't just jump into conclusions just to cover your back at the cost of whose life.